Christian, mother, wife,
Air Force veteran,
gun rights advocate.
This is Stacy on the Right. Here's your host, Stacy Washington.
Welcome back. Thank you for being with us tonight. We're in hour 3 now. We're welcoming in Jay Young, founder and CEO of King Operating Corporation. He's the author of The Upside of Oil and Gas Investing, How the New Model Works and Why It Puts the Traditional Model to Shame. Thank you so much, Jay, for coming back on.
Hey, well, thanks for having me again. Appreciate that.
Yes, we have so much to talk about. Okay, let's dive in here. We have liquefied natural gas booming. I know there are other countries who, they put this out, We don't hate. We're not upset about anybody else being in the market, but we are actually doing very well here. Tell us about this.
Yeah, well, the good news is the United States has been drilling for oil and gas, especially natural gas here lately because the price has gone up. Now it's kind of come back a little bit, but the United States is a really good producer of natural gas, which sometimes is a byproduct of oil. Like the Permian Basin produces a lot of oil, but it also produces natural gas, which was, worth almost nothing. Matter of fact, you had to pay producers to take it at one time because we just didn't have the outlet, for the need for oil, for natural gas in the Permian Basin. Now they're building a pipeline to Corpus Christi all the way to LNG it to take it overseas, liquefy it, and then they'll take it overseas to sell because, so the other countries overseas are seeing, prices that they're paying $10 to $12 per MCF, and ours is $2.50, $2.75. We can really make a good profit on it. So, Stacy, the good news is there's a need for it overseas. We're liquefying it. We're selling it overseas, which is very good for the oil and gas business in the United States. Keeps a lot of jobs going.
There's also a real need in Europe to buy their liquefied natural gas from a source that is trustworthy and won't leave them hanging, based on geopolitical realities. The Russians kind of mistreated the Europeans over liquefied natural gas. President Trump told them that Putin would do that. They didn't want to listen, and so this is the end result, that they've had to learn a pretty harsh lesson.
Very true. And just as Trump did not long ago, saying that they need to buy like $750 billion worth of natural gas or oil and gas or those type of products from the United States. Trump's making deals all over the place, right? And it's good for the oil and gas industry, which is what, if you saw Landman with Billy Bob Thornton there, he was saying that the price of oil is good at 78. If it gets above that, it's not too good. If it goes way below that, it's not economic for us to drill it for shale in the United States. So it's the same thing for natural gas. We did not have a good outlet. Prices have gone from $9, $10, $11, $12 in the United States. They come down to $2. They went down to $1. We just had so much natural gas in the United States, and we didn't have a need for it. So this really does help. The United States, and helps the oil and gas industry, produce that natural gas, and it makes it economic for us to do so, and for us to have those outlets. Like I said, it keeps a lot of jobs going, and it's really good for us here, in the United States, which is a good thing. Europe's paying $10, $12. They're paying a tremendous amount for this, and for us to have, Biden didn't want us to have anything to do with exporting LNGs. He didn't have anything to do with that. He was like, no. And, Trump's, making deals, making trillions. I don't know if we put a number on it, the kind of deals that he's made around the world, for the betterment of the United States and obviously jobs here, which is, obviously, my hat's off to him for that. There's other things that, he may have done that we don't like, but hey, overall, he's allowing natural gas to drill, baby, drill, and to produce that natural gas, which is obviously good for it's good for the industry.
It is, but and I love things that are good for oil and natural gas industry. That's the backbone of our economy. It's also most people don't realize just how many of the products that they use in their everyday lives are derived from oil. Oil is a base, like actual source mineral products, thing that everything else is made out
Yeah,
of. But
that's
you
right.
don't realize it, right? And I'm not just talking about the things we hold or use as tools. I'm talking about stuff we rub on our skin, stuff that we really feel is integral to living our everyday lives. It's based from oil. It's derived from oil. So to say the oil and natural gas industry is doing well, it then means we are doing well because the products and things that we are used to using are readily available to us at extremely reasonable prices that make our advanced society possible. If you like playing those world games where you create a world and then you control all the people in it, whether it's a board game or a computer game, this is your
Hmm.
basic functional, like, building block. Oil is for us. We can't live without fossil fuels. People, like, I hope people understand that. Like, that you need them. We need them.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, the demand for oil is going to be here for a long time. Matter of fact, I mean, give it 2 or 3 percentage points here or there, but if you say a third of a barrel of oil is used for gasoline in cars, let's say, and a third is used for transportation, jet fuel, those kind of products, and the other third is exactly what you're talking about, the phone that I'm using, the mascara, there's the glasses that I'm wearing. I mean, my computer. I mean, it's
Yep.
like there's so many
Yep.
different things that you have to have for that, and that demand's not going to go around or go anywhere soon. We're gonna need that oil here, and so it is a very important part. Now, when Trump said drill baby drill for oil, a lot of the countries or a lot of the they hoping that we would to for oil and gas prices to go way down, which they're down to $62, $63 right now, which is fine. And these, I'm a fourth generation guy. I've seen cycles in oil prices forever. But and people didn't really listen to the drill baby drill mantra, but they are listening to it in natural gas, especially, because it is a clean burning fuel. It is one of the easiest products to drill for. I mean, natural gas is so much easier than oil wells to drill, for example, because an oil well has moving parts, it has downhole motors, it has rods, tubing, pumping units, and natural gas, you just kind of stick it in the ground and start producing natural gas. It's that easy to produce. So that's a really great thing, and we are seeing a lot of people that are continuing to drill, in Louisiana, Texas, close to the coast to where we can have a need for it. Like I said, the demand for natural gas is going up, and it will continue to do so. And I'm really surprised that the price hasn't gone way above $3 yet. But I see that in the not so distant future that we will see natural gas prices go up, which our company, King Operating, we do drill for natural gas and oil, and both of them. But it is something that will be good for the economy, and we will see a need for it. It's a clean burning fuel. A lot of things are needed for natural gas as well, but I don't think anywhere we're going to see oil and gas continuing to go up. And obviously the peak demand. I was asking an economist, Dan Steffens, the other day. I was saying, Dan, when's the peak? When's the peak oil demand? When are people going to go, hey, we're going Teslas, we're not going to need cars? When's that peak oil demand going to happen? And he said, yeah, it's not going to happen. We're going to see the need for oil for a long time. We're going to need it. It's not going to go down anytime soon. The United States needs over 20 million barrels of oil a day. We produce about 13, so we still need to import 7 million barrels a day. Now, we are exporting oil because we don't have the refineries here, but that's a whole other show. I'll be glad to talk about that at some point, with refineries not being able to, make our products that we need out of oil. But we're at a really good place in the United States, drilling for oil. We're at a really good place for natural gas right now. And I know you wanted to talk about the LNG market, and I think it's just a really good it's a good outlet, if you will. So our demand for that natural gas will go up for us in the United States, and it'll be good for oil and gas operators like us at King Operating.
Yeah. That makes me think about, obviously we love solutions. What is the solution to that? I mean, we want more oil and natural gas sold, right? We want that. We want to make sure that we have, every opportunity. But I don't know. I mean, do you feel like that's going someplace? Like, or how are we doing it, getting it done without the Democrats coming in and then putting the clamp down on it again? Like, I want to see this as a permanent revolution as opposed to something that's cyclical. Whenever someone who's a Democrat comes in, they're able to clamp down on oil and natural gas.
Yeah. Well, and the good thing and what Trump has been doing a lot is allowing the states to come in themselves and say, okay, you'll kind of govern the oil and gas process, like permits, and being hard on oil and gas operators. Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, New Mexico. New Mexico's pretty bad, but like Texas, where we drill majority of our wells. I mean, that's something that the states are allowing us to do. I mean, we don't have a state income tax in Texas, as you probably know, and one of the reasons is because we make billions of dollars in taxes every year based on how much oil and gas we produce, here. So it's run by money, obviously. Democrats, what's going to happen in the next election, I don't know. I think Trump's putting us on the right path for that and for oil and gas drillers. But we're not continuing to drill as much as we were in the past, which is a good thing. Rig count's down. We're drilling longer laterals on the horizontals, but our rig count's down, and so we're really not, we're not clamping down, or we're not producing so much more oil and gas than we were. So we're still at 13 million a day, which is good. It's come down a little bit here lately, but I think we're in a really healthy spot here. There's been a lot of mergers in the oil and gas industry in the last 2024. There was, I forget exactly how, $100 billion or something worth of mergers in the Permian Basin alone. So people clamp down and don't drill as much because they have so much acreage, and I just think we're in a really good place right now, Stacy, for us to be able to be healthy, have a good economy, have to keep everybody at work that needs to work. The Permian Basin, for sure, that's one of the biggest oil fields out in Midland, Odessa. I was just talking to somebody not long ago, and they were saying something about, I lived out in Midland when, it wasn't producing very much, and that is true. I mean, it until horizontal drilling came along and the Wolfcamp and the Shell, SHALE, started producing such massive amounts of oil. Midland was kind of dried up, if you will. I mean, vertical wells weren't doing it, and all of a sudden somebody decided to go horizontal, and the Permian Basin goes from 1 million barrels of oil a day to 6 million barrels of oil a day, which is more than a lot of countries. So we do have we have a very good infrastructure. We're putting pipelines in now so that oil, you're getting whatever the spot price was for WTI for oil prices, but you're seeing natural gas. We just had a glut of natural gas in the Permian Basin, of them building like a 425-mile pipeline, from the Permian Basin down to the coast. We're able to export that LNG liquefied and export it overseas because there is a really good market for it, because of the Ukraine situation and Russia and, politics, and Trump saying buy natural gas from the United States. And he's keeping his hands on that, pretty strong, as you can imagine. And, we'll be able to have that outlet for us to be able to drill and to be able to produce natural gas here in the United States. And we'll have a good market for it, because $3-4 a thousand is a really good price for us and for drillers and people to be able to make money, because it's a very lengthy process to drill a well. It's something very hard to do. We've been doing it for generations, but it's not easy to do. But and you have to put a lot of money at stake, and you may pay $10-12 million on one well just to drill one well and to produce it, and it takes several months to do that. So if you're drilling, it takes several months to drill it, and then you get the natural gas or the oil out of the ground, and then you have to sell it. Takes 6-8 months, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, well, did I have to overpay for it? Overpay for the drilling, because it could cost $8-12 million based on oil prices on how much it's going to cost to drill a well, and then it takes so much longer to get it to the market and to get paid for it, and it takes a year to get paid to get your money back, if you will. So it's a lengthy process, but if you have a good market for it, if you're at the $60-70 a barrel, which is okay because it costs less to drill. If it goes down to $30-40, you're going to see a really big crunch, if you will, on oil and gas rigs and companies that have a lot of debt that are going to be in a lot of trouble. I don't see that happening, because I see the demand for both products, continuing to increase in the future. And if Saudi Arabia or OPEC puts a lot of oil on our markets, that's lowering the price. And that's what they're trying to do right now. They're trying to keep the prices low because they don't want us to drill as much here in the United States. They want us to be dependent on them more. So they're coming off of that now, and they're not wanting us to drill as much. And they know that we won't drill at $50, $60, $70 a barrel as much as we would at $80 or $90 a barrel. So they're putting us, OPEC's putting us in a position that saying, okay, well, you won't drill as much. But that's true in some places, but in some it's not. It's not everybody's not. We have wells that we're drilling at $32 is our break even. So that's a good thing. Now, if it was in the shale and you have to horizontal and you're drilling 2-3 mile long laterals, you're spending $12-15 million or even more. You need a big dollar amount on the oil price coming out of it, because to make your money back. So I see a good market for the oil and gas industry in the future. I see it. I see demand continuing to rise, and I see that we're going to go through some cycles, but that's just commodities, right? Commodities, supply and demand. That's why the price goes up and down. You're paying more at the pump, and it's all because of supply and demand.
Mm-hmm. Supply and demand. But the best thing about this entire conversation we're having is that you're talking about supply and demand driving what the producers are doing, as opposed to a president artificially suppressing output, or, the disinformation complex making people fear new innovation in our markets when it comes to oil and natural gas. So, I think this is pretty fantastic, and we're in a great place. But we'll do more. We'll do even more under this president. Hopefully, we'll have some deregulation and some legislation that will prevent a future president from taking negative actions against. Basically, it's the backbone of our society. We have a few things that we can't live without, and right now, living the way we live now, to live this way, you can go to Guatemala and live that way. You can go to North Korea. You can go to Cuba. You can go anywhere else on the planet, live, you want to live a third world existence, there are places for you to go. But if you want to live here and have the washing machine, which is made out of oil-derived products, sing a little song to you when the load is finished, and then have the dryer do the same thing but a different tune. If you want your car to say with attitude, please buckle passenger seatbelt. I mean, we got some stuff going on here. We got some fancy stuff. You're going to need some fossil fuels. So I'm just letting everybody know.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. That's it. That's the thing. Everyone.
It's like your song. It's like Psalm 55 today, right?
Yes.
I really love the way that you put your Bible verses into your shows. I think it's awesome, and I love you for that. I think it's a really great thing to do, because, hey, if you need to know, go to the Bible. The Bible has the answer, right? For anything. And I'm
there's
really
so
glad
much
that you do that.
There's so much
Yeah,
there. I wish
absolutely.
I wish that people who, if you're like, I don't know what she's doing or how she's doing that, I am not special. Go to verseoftheday.com if you want to find a verse every day. You can also just type in, Bible verse 4 and type in the issue, and these highly advanced supercomputers that we carry around in our purse and our back pocket, it'll find you a whole list of verses that are applicable. You no longer have to like scrape through the Bible and figure it out for yourself. Technology is your friend.
Absolutely.
And I am not,
Unbelievable.
I'm not special in any way. I don't have a special market on it. I don't have a cornered thing on scripture. I will just use my computer, and the more frustration I have, the less I actually know. I will just type in, I literally will say, someone hurt my feelings, Bible verse, and hit enter, and
absolutely.
all of the Bible verses about hurt feelings will come up. And I'm using that as a simple example, but I'm just saying, you're like, it's that basic, it's that easy to find. And tonight, I'm just so struck. I have to tell you, I am so struck by how often President Trump, he will see a problem, and instead of saying that's not my job, Washington D.C. has a mayor, it's not my job to clean it up. He sees people who actually work for the government that he's running getting mugged and beaten up and carjacked, and then he says, you know what, I'm going to do something about that, and the results are so fast. And so I want us to all be inspired to see a problem and do something about it. And if you're not going to, it's okay if you're not a problem solver, but don't be that one who's in the way of the problem solver. I know the Democrats don't like Trump, but I wish they'd get out of his way as he's cleaning things up. Isn't it just something when you set your mind to clean something up, and then everything in the world starts like bothering you, the phone's ringing, everybody's crying, oh, I need you to blah, 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 and all you want to do is clean up. That's President Trump. He's just trying to clean stuff up, and everybody's like, no, I can't stand it. Don't do it. He's actually cleaning up the most important things, the cities where people are getting killed. I think it's great. We are very, very blessed to have him in office right now. I hope they know that.
I definitely agree.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. And I will say this about Democrats, too. I mean, if you see Democrats, you follow oil prices during Democratic, administrations, the price goes up. It's at 100, 120, 140 during Obama. I mean, the prices do go up because you can't drill as much in the United States. So therefore, Trump's keeping the price down. You should be thankful because you're going to the pump and you don't have to put 2 credit cards up or something. I mean, you can put one up and fill your tank and not feel bad, or have to go to the deal and go, hey, I wanted more than $100 worth of gas, and I need $120 worth of gas because gasoline's at $6, $7. I know it's like that in California all the time, but here in Texas, we like paying $2.50, $2.60, and I think that's a great thing. But I'm on you 100%. I love that. I love the idea of the Psalms, and I read through a bunch of your Bible verses that you have. I have that on the Jay Young Show. Stacy, you need to be on the Jay Young Show sometime. I'd love to have you on. We do have we do have a word of the day, a word of the week, and we also have a Bible verse.
Okay, and, you have to ask and you shall receive. You have to say when you want me to come on. Absolutely. So send Chris some dates and times. Text him, and then we'll make it happen. Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Awesome. Thank you. I would love to come on. Jay, I'd love to come on. I will. And now I've said it on the radio, so I have to do it. You know what? We'll make that happen.
There you go.
Until then.
You heard it right here.
Heard it right here.
You heard it right here on Stacy on the Right.
That's right. You heard me say I'll go on, and I will. And then we'll talk to you again. If we don't talk to you before Labor Day, have a great time off with your family. I hope you guys have some good time, some good rest.
Thank you.
All right.
We're going to volleyball in Pittsburgh.
Ah,
Thank
Pittsburgh.
you.
Nice.
Thank you.
All right. I'll talk to you again soon.